All right. Good night, everybody. I hope everyone can hear me. And welcome to Comics Asylum Live. It's Steve. I'm going solo for a little bit tonight. Jay's going to join us when he can. And I hope that everyone has had a great week, a couple of weeks. I had to take last week off, unfortunately, for some personal reasons, but I'm back. And we are going to be talking some comics, some pretty cool stuff that's been going down with some Star Trek stuff. I didn't realize it was I guess, the 30th anniversary of Star Trek Generations. And if you're a Star Trek fan, that was a pretty cool film because it kind of connected the two generations of Star Trek with, I guess, Kirk's crew and Picard's crew. So let's get into some of these comments, and then we'll hop into some news, look at some stuff, and then get into the Kirk stuff. All right. So, J-Man, good day, folks. That Kirk thing was very cool. Yes, and we will take a look at it a little bit later. But yeah, it was pretty stunning, and it was something that I was not expecting to see. And here we have J-Man again, the Cap with Cap. Yes, because we're going to talk about Brave New Worlds, and the MCU is in an interesting place right now. I'm not quite sure what to make of it, but yeah, he says the trailer looks okay, but I don't have much hope for this movie. I hated Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and this looked like it references that in the story. I'll still see it, of course. Of course, you got to support. You got to support everything, but I have a lot to say about this. I want this movie to be really good. I really like Anthony Mackie. It'd be nice if this film is really successful and kind of sets the MCU up for, I don't know, what is this, phase 6? I'm not quite sure. But as a Hulk fan, I've got some reservations about it, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Next, we have Shao Kahn. Hello there, Steve. How you doing? It's good to see you. And John Smith. I cannot reach the button, Captain. Awesome. Yeah, that's Trek's got some good tropes, and you can't really go wrong with good old Scotty. That's for sure. And I have to say that I guess that's the Kelvin universe, when they did the reboot for the 2009 movie, they did a fantastic job. Not only just with the story, that particular movie, but also the casting. I thought the reason why that movie worked so well is because the casting was absolutely dynamite. It was, you couldn't really ask for more in terms of characterization and the actors looking and sounding and resembling the legacy characters that they were portraying. So first up, let's take a look at. We're going to go back and take a look at Batman, because that book, Absolute Batman, is absolutely on fire. It actually has gone to its 4th printing, and I think I was reading on X, even though I'm not on X anymore. But before I left, I was able to glean that they're at 400,000 copies sold, which is fantastic. It's great news for for LCSs. And so anything that gets people into the store is something that you would welcome. And that book has it's been really good, because it's garnered a lot of debate, generated a lot of debate. And then with Absolute Superman and Absolute Wonder Woman following on its heels, I think DC may have found I don't know, the juice or the correct kind of vehicle to kind of boost it up a little bit. So anything that gets people in the stores, anything that gets people excited about comic books, you cannot really shoot down too much. The question for them is, will they be able to keep it going? That's the thing. So issue 1's great, but can we get past that? So I'm going to, at this point, let me see this here. I'm going to pull up the Absolute Batman. And there you could see, there we go. So fresh off the recent news of DC's Absolute Batman #1, announced as the best-selling comic book of 2024. And we had Carlos from Gotham Central in Mississauga, and he was saying that this book was probably, this and Ultimate Spider-Man were probably the two biggest books of the year. And by going to a fourth printing, it's absolutely been confirmed. So it's now stated that the debut issue of the series, written by Scott Snyder with art by Nick Dragotta and Frank Martin, is returning to press for an unprecedented fourth printing. So you can see here, this is one of the covers for the fourth printing. I think they've got 4 of them. So part of the ambitious DC All-In publishing initiative, Absolute Batman is one of several Absolute Universe and Core All-In series that have been runaway hits with comic book fans and receiving multiple printings, joining Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman, Detective Comics, and the DC All-In Special. So I'm not going to go through all of this, all of the text, but I'm just going to give you a look at some of the covers. Here's another one. This is pretty cool. And then they're doing, I guess, a couple of wraparound, 2 wraparound, if not one, then 2 wraparound ones. This one is black and white, also by Nick Dragotta. And then they have, I guess this would be the black version. And it kind of fits with Batman Black and White as well, too. This second one, I think, really pops. That one looks really, really good. Yeah. So they look like they're going on sale December 25th. So you know what? It's a little bit of a good Christmas present. If you can pick that up, although, let me double check. Yeah, on Wednesday, December 25th. So Merry Christmas, DC fans, because you're going to have a lot of stuff to look at there. And I was also taking a look at some of the latest toys that are out there. And this one really caught my eye. Shout out to, if I can find it here, Toy Arc. Sorry, there is an amazing version of Godzilla that I'd like to show everybody. And I'd like also, when time comes, I'd like to get Jay's take on it. So this is Godzilla King of the Monsters from Hiya Toys. It's the burning Godzilla figure. And this is just a crazy looking figure. So Hiya Toys is updated with images and details from the upcoming Godzilla King of Monsters burning Godzilla action figure. The figure stands 7 inches tall and is included in 2 sets of interchangeable hands, as well as 2 severed neck pieces to use with their King Ghidorah gravity beam version figure. The burning Godzilla figure is priced at $51. Pre-orders will go live on November 30th via the Hiya Toy Shop. So let's take a look at some of these images. And they're pretty stunning. Let me see if you're getting everything. You're seeing it right. Yeah, perfect. Let's just scroll through some of these. This one really, this toy really caught my eye. So if you're a big Godzilla fan, this is something to look forward to, for sure. The cool thing about Godzilla is that there's so many different versions of him over the years, whether you have the legendary version or you have the Toyo version, and then tons of toy makers have represented them all, that, you know, you can go for the classic kind of version or what Legendary is bringing to the table right now. Let's hop over to really what I want to talk about. And this one kind of blew my mind because I'm a big Star Trek fan. Love Star Wars as well too, but I have to say that Star Trek is the one that's kind of it's kind of lasted with me the most post me getting old. Um, there's just something about them being able to regenerate the crews, and I haven't watched much of the new stuff just because I've been too busy doing my own comic book stuff and doing stuff with Comics Asylum. But the new Star Treks seem to also have everybody pretty much glued into whatever Roddenberry had started back in the 60s. And so whether it's Discovery or Brave New Worlds, you really can't go wrong with Star Trek. But for most people, especially if you're gray like me, it's a matter of the original crew. And I guess Kirk kind of is he's kind of like the stir the draw that the straw that stirs the drink, as they say. And there's a company called OTOY. I'm not sure if I'm getting that right, but they are a 3D rendering company, and they have teamed with, I guess, Leonard Nimoy's estate, and have been doing some, I guess, some Star Trek short films. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play this, and then you guys can tell me what you think of it. Like it's pretty stunning. Let me get that queued up. Now that's pretty cool. And I want to welcome Jay to the stream. How you doing?
Sorry for being late. A lot of things going on in the background here. My God, that's a lot of de-aging going on there. I mean, like I've seen you and I have seen William Shatner in person lately. So you know, he's looking a lot.
He's 90.
Yeah, he's very. No, he still looks pretty good for his age. I mean, like, you know, I argue Patrick Stewart is looking worse for wear, but Shatner's actually not terrible. But he can't move like that. Those are all body doubles, or maybe he was doing a little bit of acting. But but the fact that he's not even speaking much, you know what I mean? It's kind of crazy. But yeah, it's impressive. You know, it's amazing what facial replacement technology has really done, and de-aging technology. I mean, like, you know, we've seen it in all the Marvel movies, and that was a pretty good use of it. I mean, like, he wasn't doing much, and the fact that he wasn't speaking really helps a lot, because that's where things start to break a little bit.
When, the voice ages quite a bit when you get older, for sure.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, looking good for a 90-year-old man. I mean, like, not bad. Shatner.
And when you think about it, like, we've seen it with Luke, with Mark Hamill, right? And then I think it was Mandalorian, or maybe it was Book of Boba Fett. I can't remember which one.
It was, I believe, it was the Mandalorian.
When he came back, right? And so you have the body double, but then you can map the face on and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And realistically, like, these are short films. I've done a little bit of digging, and they've done a couple of these. OTOY, I guess they're called, and it's done in conjunction with, like, Roddenberry's, as well as Leonard Nimoy's estate, and they've done other Spock stuff, and they have, like, these are so on point, and I have to give credit to I can't remember which site I saw it on. I think it was Trek Culture. That's where I first kind of ran across it and was made aware of this stuff. So if anyone's watching and you want to go learn, like, go take a deep dive into this, check out Trek Culture on YouTube. But, like, these are, like, the best kind of fan films ever. It's like fan films done by the people that actually did it, because like, they've got the person that did the score. They came back to work on it. They had former actors come in to play. Even the you might have missed it because I don't think you came in, but there's an actor at the beginning who was in one of the pilots. I think maybe the second pilot of the original Star Trek series.
Yep.
He's in it. He also obviously gets DH because I think he's like 87 at this point in time. Sure. But they have done an amazing job of using the render technology that they have, and just creating fantastic looking homages and love letters to an IP that is beloved across the world.
Yeah, and you know that scene where he was with all the Vulcans, that was Lieutenant Savick.
Yes,
she I believe that is actually the actress herself.
It's the same actress. Yes,
they didn't need too much de-aging there. And I think behind her was supposed to be Sarek.
That's Sarek. Yes,
that is Sarek. Yeah, obviously, Mark Leonard is not going to be able to come back for that role, but you know they picked a reasonably good actor for that. Yeah, it's great. I don't actually know who the TNG alien was. He looked a little bit unusual. I don't know who that was supposed to reference.
Right,
the one who hands him the communicator or whatever that is that transport. I guess it's communicators because it transports him somewhere. But yeah, a lot of great nods, and again, as you said, because it's part of the Roddenberry estate, right? And they're doing a lot of great work. They're actually archiving a lot of and reshooting. I first heard about this initiative from the Roddenberry. It's OTOY, right? OTOY. Yeah. And there. See, that's what Shatner looks like now. I mean, that's and he does not. And they really did a great job. Bringing him back as a younger person. But yeah, the first ones I saw were some test footage shots of with no audio actually of Leonard Nimoy, and he was like doing some things we'd never seen him do before. And it they've really come a long way with this film. In terms of actually making it something really interesting. And it's one of these things where Paramount's always been, as we already know, they've shut down so many different fan projects. But this, of course, being tied to the Roddenberry estate, I guess they're sort of like turning a blind eye to it, whatever, or just like letting it happen.
They might have their blessing. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know. But to a certain degree, right? I mean, they're not going to make feature films out of this.
No.
But it is amazing to see how far they've come. And of course, this is OTOY in association with William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy Estate. Releases 765874 Unification, commemorating the 30th anniversary of Star Trek Generations. Crazy. Absolutely great. And it's funny that it's Generations, because obviously Generations was the final film. The first film for the TNG.
Picard crew. It was for TNG.
Exactly, for TNG. And of course, that was the death. That was where Kirk finally. Spoilers ahead, but that's where Kirk finally met his end, right, on screen, twice, actually. In the movie.
Yes,
he met his demise twice, in that film. Interesting, very interesting. So fascinating. So it could be thought of, I think, that in this film he's still in the Nexus somewhere. You know what I mean? Because that's probably what it is. It's probably him just existing in the Nexus.
Yeah.
So interesting.
It's pretty cool. I've watched the whole thing, and you also saw there was another actor in the shot that was just on screen, plays Spock. So basically, not to ruin it, but the purpose, from what I'm gathering of this, is to kind of give Kirk and Spock their final send off, like a proper final send off. So when Spock passes, I guess in the Kelvin universe. Or timeline, sorry, which would be the J.J. Abrams-esque Star Trek. Kirk, as you saw him there, he then approaches or goes to Spock on his deathbed. And it's kind of interesting because I don't know if meta is the real word for it, but they had their differences. Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner had their differences later on. And it's almost like this is a two-sided peace offering, like where Shatner is kind of, coming to terms with things and making peace.
Sure,
with things.
Sure, it's a simile to the way Bill Murray and what was his name again?
Harold Ramis?
Yeah, Harold Ramis. How they never spoke, right? And they only came together when Harold was dying. You know what I mean? And finally made amends. And then afterwards, the only thing they could do, and it was so touching, really. When I remember watching Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I remember seeing that scene where they all got that moment where they could say goodbye to Ramis. Yes. And the camera pans up and it says for Harold, right? And yeah, that was really touching. You know what I mean? It was a final send off to the character, and I think that who was it? I think Ivan Reitman's son, wasn't it? He played. Yes. He played Egon, right? So yeah, very very fitting. You know what I mean? And ironically, Ivan Reitman passed soon thereafter. Again, it's a fascinating journey into filmmaking here. And now again, it's coming full circle with Shatner and Nimoy. And again, it's also fascinating because I mean, I'm not going to say anything, but I don't mean to say anything weird, but Shatner's outlived everybody. Like he's I think who's left? I think there's Sulu. I think
Sulu's still around. I think Chekhov is still around.
Yeah, really? Wow.
I think so. Let me double check.
Yeah.
Because
Uhura
passed.
Yeah.
Scotty passed.
Yeah.
Um,
James Doohan.
yeah.
Just it's that I think that's about it, right? Like that is the core cast right there. So yeah, there's only 3 members of the original cast left, I think.
Walter Koenig.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Walter Koenig.
He's 88 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. Just crazy. So literally Sulu, uh, Chekhov, and Kirk. Those are living legends right there. You know what I mean? Like crazy.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. Absolutely. And I guess Shatner and Koenig basically are in their 90s,
mhm.
right? So if they were in their late 20s, 30s when the original series came on, so they have had a good run. They really had a
Yeah,
good run.
absolutely. No, and they're still going, God willing.
Mhm.
I think Walter Koenig was still the youngest of the crew. I think you know what I
Yes.
mean.
Yeah.
So he's probably still a little bit sprier than the rest, but yeah, I mean, and you know what? Sulu's kept it up. You know what I mean? He's still acting as far as I know, and just still with the rest of them, right?
And
But yeah,
he is rough on social media. He
yeah,
has got some takes on social media. Wow, good for him.
yeah. But you know what? He's a crotchety old man, and you know what? He's gonna say what he thinks, right?
And
I
he's
mean,
seen some things, right?
yeah,
I think his perspective is from when he was younger and being in an internment camp and stuff like that. So when you go through an experience like that, the trials and travails of Hollywood are kind of
yeah. I mean, again, and you know what? He's part of the LGBTQ,
mhm.
so you know he's faced the diversity everywhere, right? I mean, you know,
Yes,
it's been rough for him. So you know, again, he's fighting for his rights, and good for him. You know what I mean? Like that. Um, you have to stand up for what you believe in, right? So
yeah,
you know, but
definitely.
again, coming back to this, I hope that they will eventually involve Sulu as well, because again, and Chekhov, you know, it would be great to see those two, but obviously the two, Keith, and you know what, also DeForest Kelly as well. I hope that eventually they include the entire cast, the entire core cast. It would be really nice to see everybody back on, de-aged and given a certain send off like these two have been given. You know what I mean? Because again, it's not just Kirk and Spock. It's all of them, right? So
It's
fascinating.
true. It's
Yeah.
true. Totally agree with you there. Going back to Generations, though, is that your favorite iteration of Star Trek, or are you like no Star Trek?
No, 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 no. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I'm glad they the original series. I never really, I was fond of it. You know, the TOS. I was fond of it, but TNG is always going to be my favorite Star Trek.
Mhm.
Um, but in terms of movies, I wasn't that fond of the TNG movies. My favorite TNG movie is, of course, what's it called? The one with the Borg. What's it called?
Oh,
I'm trying to remember. Star Trek.
is that the one? Is that the one with Tom Hardy?
It
Where
is not the one
Picard?
with Tom Hardy. It is the one. It's literally just the Borg invasion. It was Star
Okay,
Trek.
I gotta pull him up now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to say.
Is it Nemesis?
No, it's not Nemesis. It's the second movie. It was the one
Um,
directly after Generations.
First
Star Trek
Contact.
First Contact. That's right. First Contact. Star Trek First
Right.
Contact. Yeah, that was my favorite of the TNG films. The other ones felt a lot like long episodes. This one felt like a real movie. It was directed by Jonathan Frakes, and he really he. Thank you, Master Versal Commander. Of course,
Thank you.
Eldor is always going to have the right answer. But yes, that's my favorite. It felt like a movie. You know, it had a lot of tension. It had a lot of drama. It had temporal mechanics. Gosh darn Star Trek. And it was coming hot off the heels of the Dominion War.
Hmm.
So you know, it really did like have all those elements. It had the new costumes. It had everything. Um, but my favorite films are always going to be the TOS films. There's just something so campy but so endearing about all of them. I think everyone is very familiar with the Wrath of Khan. It is the return to form for Star Trek in many ways. In a lot of ways, it is one of the most exciting films. And honestly, Ricardo Montalban, I mean, like amazing acting on his part.
Mhm.
And apparently, that was his actual physique. He was a
Yeah,
strapping lad.
he was Diesel. He was
He was
Diesel
a
back then, man.
strapping lad. He was a
Oh yeah.
strapping lad.
Yeah. Working on
And
Fantasy Island gives you all those pecs,
yeah.
man.
Oh yeah, and of course it was the death of Spock, right?
Mhm.
And then they brought him back for the next film, which was amazing. And we actually got to see Christopher Lloyd, actually putting in some acting chops instead of just being
Yeah.
a comedic taxi driver or a crazy professor. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like great stuff on his part. And then shortly after that, it's everyone's favorite film, which even Star Trek fans know. The Voyage Home. You know what I mean? Where the whales. Everybody knows the one with the whales. I mean, it's just a great film. Directed again by
Yes.
Leonard Nimoy. And then
It had a nice light tone to it.
it was a lot of fun.
And it didn't take itself seriously.
No,
and I think that's kind of why it worked. And the 80s were such a weird decade. Like, I know we grew up in it, but when you think of like just like the styles, the music, burgeoning technology, it was ripe to be kind of like mined for all of the inside jokes.
100%. And it was really great just having a laugh at ourselves. You know what I mean? It's Los Angeles. It's the 80s. There was a little bit of profanity in there, which you'd never heard in Star Trek other than Klingon, right? And not too much in the way of tension. I mean, you sort of always figured that they'd make it back, but you saw the archaic nature and the ideals. Drilling holes into people's heads, this kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Like, Bones' line about how barbaric the times were.
So great. My God, man. Drilling holes in his head's not the answer. DeForest Kelly is a gem. You know what I mean? We lost when we lost DeForest Kelly. We really lost a great actor. I mean, like he was one of a kind, honestly.
Although Carl Urban does a fantastic rendition. Like it's amazing how good he does him.
But he does it in his own way, and I love that. Yeah, I love the fact that he's not parody. He's not totally embodying DeForest Kelly. He's doing his own thing, but it's really refreshing. I really enjoy it, and he himself he doesn't get enough accolades for his acting. You know what I mean? He's
in Dread, where you don't even see his face. Amazing, and I'm waiting for Dread 2. To be honest with you.
Oh God, so many people have been like it's kind of like it's like Battle Angel, it's like Dread 2. Yeah. It's like all these one-hit wonders where they need a second film. They deserve a second film. But then, you get like not everything is like a Pitch Black where it has a lead actor who's just commanding people to do what he wants. You know what I mean? And then of course, by the way, if anybody watches the Chronicles of Riddick, watch the extended edition, the director's cut. The theatrical version was not that great. The director's cut, with only about 15 minutes of extra footage, makes so much more. It's just it explains so much more of the world, and I was shocked at how important those extra 15 minutes were. It was insane.
It's a great sounding movie too.
Like, it is.
The sound on that movie is fantastic.
Also, Vin Diesel has that was the best shape he's ever been in his life. In terms of being cut, in terms of being lean, in terms of being athletic. Because when he went toe to toe with The Rock, he was like they had to bulk him up. He was like he was on roids for like months. But in Chronicles of Riddick, he looked the best shape of his entire career. Like seriously, everywhere else he was kind of soft. He still had a good size, but he was kind of soft. Aside from his breakdancing days, I mean, those, that was a different era entirely. But Steve got you there. But
no, I remember those videos.
I know
those are great videos.
Between that and Street Sharks.
That's right.
You guys go watch it. Anybody, if for all the toy aficionados out there, look up Vin Diesel Street Sharks. It's a great video. It is really fun, actually. He that's where he got the I argue that's where he created Torreno.
Toretto?
I argue he created Torreno with Street Sharks. Like I argue that. But yeah. No, very excited to see this effort from the Gene Roddenberry estate. They're doing some great work and really preserving thing. But my favorite movies will always be TOS, only because again there's this beautiful campiness about them and just a wonderful turn back of time to films we really don't get anymore. We just don't get films like that right now.
I would argue that the original series there was a different energy about it.
Sure.
And I think it probably leads from, the captains, right? I think the captains kind of drive, like, ironically, they drive the bus for every franchise. But like Kirk's was like shoot, ask questions later kind of.
Yep.
And Picard is like completely pensive. Janeway had her own way. Even though I don't think he ever piloted a ship, but Sisko had his own, because I think he was just on the space station. I don't know if he ever was on the bridge or something.
He was the captain of the Defiant.
The Defiant?
He was the captain of the Defiant. The commander of the Defiant.
Commander Defiant. Yeah. And so, like, he had his own kind of way of going about stuff. So, but those original movies, right? There was a like a let's go kind of vibe to them.
Oh, yeah.
And I always felt the Next Generation movies were just a notch down in terms of energy. Maybe a little bit more cerebral. There was like maybe too much Data, not enough Worf.
Yeah. That's why First Contact was such a refreshing take, because there was a lot of tension, right? Yeah. Picard was not himself. He was a man removed. He was a man obsessed. The analogy that they use about Moby Dick in that movie is absolutely spot on. It was the entire crux of the entire film, right? He even says it to himself. He says, as he stood upon the hump of the whale, if his heart was a cannon, he'd have shot himself through the heart, right? It was a great film, just quoting Moby Dick, right? And of course, his companion's like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Oh, it's Moby Dick. I never read it. I'm just calling you Captain Ahab because it works, right?" But it's that wonderful whole situation. Such a storied and celebrated captain, literally losing himself, right? In absence of his humanity, right? Because again, it was taken. He wrestled with it, and they've revisited that too many times now. Picard final season. Although it was a great season, depending. Well, you know what? I'm speaking for myself because I know
it's all right. You can like it.
I'm gonna get jumped in the street, especially because all these Torontonians watch Star Trek. But the first two seasons were interesting. I argue the first season was very good. Second season was kind of like, where are we going with this? And the third season, they finally got it right. You know what I mean?
Well, I think they got money too, right?
They probably said, "This is your budget. Blow it as much as you can because this is as far as we're going." And they did. It was a love letter to the fans. You know what I mean? For anybody who hasn't watched it, every fan service you can imagine was served on a platter in slabs. I mean, like it was absolutely ridiculous in a lot of ways. But it's amazing they were able to get all the cast back together. Not really. I mean, this is what they pretty much live for it now, right? Mm-hmm. So the final season was exactly what most fans wanted, right? They wanted to see Beverly Crusher. They wanted to see, Worf come back. They wanted to see. I'm not sure Data was really in the equation, but heck, they made it work. You know what I mean? It's decent writing all over again, right? And I think that right now, Brave New World, or not Brave New World, Strange New World. Sorry, Strange New Worlds, because we're going to get to Brave New World soon. Yes. But Strange New Worlds, I think, is refreshing. It's a return to form for Star Trek in a lot of ways, and in a lot of ways, it is playing on the TOS aspect, but also bringing it into well past TNG now. Right, we are seeing some great Star Trek right now. Again, you know what I mean? Like some really cool storylines.
For sure. Chad Stewart, I really like Picard.
Yeah,
with
I'm
him.
not saying
With that last name, though, he has to like Picard.
I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm not saying you shouldn't, especially with that last name. 100% should.
Yeah, I did enjoy Picard though. I
did.
I think the second season, because there's 3 of them, right? I think the second season for me was the weakest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The first one was great. And personally, I would have been done just with the first one. I said, all right, you guys knocked out of the park. Didn't need the other 2 seasons.
My biggest problem with the first season is they didn't follow it up with the second season. Like, what happened to those nanomachines? What happened to the threat? I mean, you closed the portal and they retreated. You know, Star Trek comes and said, hey, don't come into our universe, blah, blah, blah. But then all of a sudden, gone. And you end up with Q. Yeah, that's fun. It's cute. I mean, it's Q, right? But Q can't save the universe. Can't save the Star Trek universe. We've proven that now. Even though no matter how talented John Delancey is, there's a certain point where it kind of gets, right? So now in the third season, which again, just all fan service. And it returns to the Borg. The Borg is the greatest threat, and they will always be the greatest threat. So, and now they're gone. But anyway, we can always go back to that.
Before we leave Star Trek and Kirk and all that kind of stuff, you mentioned Wrath of Khan, and I was just thinking of something. It's the second movie in a franchise or in a series. How many times do they outstrip
that is
the original?
That's a good question. So
and anyone who's watching, please fill the comments with your choices. I think there's about 5. If I really think about it, there's maybe about 5 that you could argue.
Yeah. So the obvious ones, and it's ironic because most of them, like the ones that you can really count on your hands, are probably going to be science fiction, fantasy, right? You're like the first one anyone's going to talk about first is going to be Empire Strikes Back, right? No. Empire Strikes Back is always going to be the first one everyone talks about, right? Yep. Aliens is probably going to be another one. A lot of people, it went from horror to like a survival,
all out action,
right? Survival action, and then after that, it just slowly trickles out, right? Because there are a whole bunch of them that ended up. It's like I'll get back to the last one that I'll come back to it afterwards, but definitely Star Trek for sure, Generations, First Contact for sure, Wrath of Khan, absolutely, and then what was the 5th one for you before I decide to jump in on this one?
This might be sacrilege. I have 2. One's an old school movie, and this one's probably sacrilege. I actually enjoyed T2 better than Terminator.
I don't disagree. I think Terminator, though. I think they both. It is a toss up, though. It is a toss up. But yes, I know where you're coming from. So that's the one. That's the one you said that you had another one, or
this goes way back. And I'm a Bond fan, and I will argue that From Russia with Love, which is probably my favorite out of all of them,
sure,
next to The Spy Who Loved Me, just showing my age. That is a film that was definitely better than Dr. No.
And I would say, and again, this is a rough one because arguably all 3, because of the tonality, because of the way it was shot, because of the director. It literally took, I think, 10 years, like combined, to actually create this trilogy, right? So I would argue The Lord of the Rings.
I was going to agree with you 100%. As soon as you said we started going down that road, I was like, yeah, that's it.
I think the Two Towers was not superior so much, but they all. Here's the thing. I'm not sure either. Any of the 3 were really better than each other, but I do believe that in terms of, was I disappointed to watch the second one? Absolutely not. I was so excited to watch the second one, and I was so happy to see the ending of the second one. Like, it really did match my expectations and some, right? But it's hard. It's a sequel is very rarely, something that you can really say, "Hey, that was awesome."
Again, going back, you know what might actually be in there? The Godfather 2.
Yes. Again, complete, like, it still continued where they left off, obviously, with Michael. And but at the same time, it was a completely different story. And yeah, again, very, 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 very different tone. Yeah, it's amazing how many sequels actually do not hit that mark. You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true. Like I was just another one that popped in my head was the Road Warrior over
Yeah,
Mad Max.
yeah, 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 yeah. Because for sure, because obviously the first one was how did it go? The first one was Road Warrior, right? And
No,
then
that was Mad Max.
that was Mad Max. Is that
Yeah,
how it went?
Mad Max, Road Warrior,
And
and
then the
then
Thunderdome.
Beyond Thunderdome.
Yeah, Beyond Thunderdome. Okay, okay. Yeah,
If I'm mistaken, I'm sure someone's going to
I
correct
think
me.
you're right, because I think the first film again was supposed to be a whole retrospective on a man losing his world,
Mhm.
right?
And
Like
it's almost like an independent Aussie film, that first one, and
it does,
then
right? It just
right,
has a
and
cult
then the
following, which
second one is like we got a budget,
yeah,
and
exactly.
Mel Gibson's a star. Let's go to town, right?
I totally agree. Yeah, no, and again, it's rough. Like movies and audiences change with time, right? So, and even the span
Definitely.
of like 3 or 4 years, which is sometimes when sequels would come out, right? It's not like back in the day. Actually, you know what? Um, again, Superman 2, and I argue. Here's what I argue. Superman 2, 30 years later, with the Donner cut, was actually pretty damn good. If you watch the Donner cut, right, the way they
Donner
remade
Cut's
it, the
really
way they
good.
filmed it, yeah, it was pretty damn good.
And as a kid, I'm not going to disagree with you because as a kid, I enjoyed Superman 2 more than I did Superman 1 because the fight in Metropolis, I was all for that.
Yeah,
As a comic book fan, I was
absolutely.
like, yeah, man, throwing buses at people,
Oh, yeah.
throwing manhole covers at people, getting punched into the Coke sign and having it explode. As a, what would I have been, 11 or so? That's what I was looking for. Like, you go back now as an adult, you look at, filmmaking and all that kind of stuff. The first movie is really good. But when you look at the Donner cut it's on point, man.
Absolutely, 100%. And you know what? Getting back to that, getting back to that fight. I mean, that was crazy. I remember when I saw Ursa like throw the manhole. I swear to God, I thought I saw a Superman spine coming out of his face. I was
the
like,
wire
what the hell?
the wire work was pretty good. I
Yeah, I know.
remember.
It was so good.
Yeah,
So good.
it was really good, really good. Before we keep going, Master Versal Toy Hunter. Good evening, there, Mega Helmet J, Happy J, and
Those are
Cole.
icons. Those are icons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
that's how they show up on stream.
that's how they show up in the thing. All right, great. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming by. And then he also said, "Indeed, the voyage home. Cannot complain. That's just a favorite film.
It's a film which you don't have to be a Star Trek fan to enjoy that
No,
film.
it's just a good sci-fi film." And then Chad Stewart has A View to a Kill is my favorite Bond movie. Anything with Christopher Walken cannot be bad.
Oh my gosh!
Probably one of the best soundtracks, though, or at least Bond songs, because I think that was Duran Duran.
That was Duran Duran. That's such a great song too.
And Grace Jones. The only thing with like, and I'm a Roger Moore fan. He must have been like 70 something.
Yeah. He just like Sean Connery and all the Bonds. They basically age out.
Yeah, they stay one film too long, I think.
Yeah, and I think there's only been 2 actors who have ever played James Bond once, and then had to move on. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy.
George Lazenby and David Niven.
Yeah, only 2. That's it.
David Niven just because it's a spoof. It's a spoof version.
Yeah, that's what they say. But I see he's there.
Yeah, for sure. So you didn't get to see this, but there was a Godzilla toy. That
you mean when you started the show?
Yeah.
Which one?
It's the. Let me see if I'll pull it up. It is the Godzilla King of Monsters by Hiya Toys.
Yep. Very, very cool.
I love this.
Yeah. It's like a molten Godzilla. It's really neat. I wish highest scale would be a bit bigger,
Right.
because I would be all over it. You know what I mean? Like their scale is again, and they're trying to carve a niche for themselves, which is fine. They have their fans, right? And yeah, this is definitely a great take on Godzilla. Is this a reference to any like is this a reference to the last movie, or is it
To be honest with you, I'm not sure. Like a lot of the legendary movies, kind of.
Yeah, they blur after a while.
They blur together, and so you know, it's just one of those things where you're like, I'm not quite sure, but it looks great. It does look great.
Yeah, not everything can be -1. -1 was just ridiculous. Yeah, like that was a film. I remember going in with really low expectations and then coming out with like, what the hell did I just watch? Like it was crazy. It was a crazy.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know if you've seen this, but it's the Godzilla humidifier.
The what? Dehumidifier or humidifier?
Humidifier. So I'm gonna bring this up.
Okay.
This is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
He blows mist into your face. Like what does he do?
Let me see if I can find it. There we go.
Oh yeah, okay. Wait, yeah, that's cool. That's neat. Yeah. You know what? I'm in on these little tchotchkes. What was it? I bought a Star Wars waffle maker one time. Yeah, I was making TIE Fighter waffles for a little bit. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so things like this. But how much humidity can you actually get out? His mouth is so small. Come on.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna see if I can find it. There's a dude on TikTok, and basically he was humidifying his plants.
Okay. And he was using this thing.
Yes. Let me see if I can find it. I think yes.
I had no plans tomorrow. Come here. I now have so.
I'm just gonna scrub it back.
Yeah. Okay, so
I had no plans tomorrow.
Okay, so hold on. But that's not the one though. That's the toy. Yeah. So that's the toy, which does a similar effect, right? It's like the Bowser toy.
Yes.
Where you fill up the reservoir with some water. Mm-hmm. But the other one, I imagine, does quite a bit more mist. You know what I mean? So
it looks like it. It also has like some sort of a trail. I'm not sure if that was photoshopped in, but yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure it does light up. I mean, like that. That's half the fun, right? And it would be really cool if it actually made noise and charged up like he did in the movie, right? So yeah, no, I'm into tchotchkes like that. I can totally see myself getting that one day when it really is not. It's a waste of money completely, but hell.
Sure. I think if you're a Godzilla fan or Stan and you've got like 10 or 15 of them already, what's one more?
Exactly. It's just a lifestyle, man. Like people collect whatever they want. People collect sneakers. People collect baseball cards. People collect anything, right? So why not Godzilla
why not Godzilla?
Why not? Why not?
Absolutely, totally agree. Any toys on the horizon for you, or anything that's dropped in November?
I mean, we're gonna get to it in a second. So the Brave New World toys are definitely getting people excited for the movie. But the movie itself is it's one of these things where toy companies always have to walk this fine line, because they already showcased on the toy line that there's another Falcon. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Falcon's returning. in what format? It's fascinating that way, right? So we have we have Captain America, and now we have New Falcon, right? So it's
they did that with Agatha too, because I know that Death was one of the characters in Agatha all along, and the Funko Pop for Aubrey Plaza was Death, and you're like, wah, wah, wah. There goes your
there goes the suspense,
twist.
right? There goes the thing, right? But that's the thing. The thing is that release dates get pushed back, productions get pushed back. But the thing is that when you sign a contract with a toy company, they're like, we can't wait. You know what I mean? This is key marketing season for us. So
you're 100% correct, because that's the issue with this film. Apparently it's testing like terribly, and apparently it's like the action sequences aren't doing it for people, and they have to go back and do reshoots, right? And so that will throw off the timeline of all the other cross media stuff: toys, lunch boxes, Happy Meals, whatever.
You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb here. And I'm gonna say,
bring it. Want to hear it?
I'm gonna say, stop pandering to whoever it is fucking complains to your fucking ass. Like, seriously, that's
just make your movie.
That's
just
about it.
That's
about as much profanity as you're gonna get out of me tonight. But seriously, stop it. Stop pandering. The director has a vision. Let him have, or let them have their freaking vision. Okay, him, her, he, whatever. It doesn't matter. Let them do it. Okay. I don't care if it tests poorly or not. Maybe that's a concession. Okay, but back in the day, when you and I were kids, Steve, they still had test groups. They still did things. And unfortunately, when you spend about the $10 million to make a film way back in the day, which is like 35, 40 million today, whatever it is, right? And you basically went to a test group and you're like, all right, what do you think? And they're like, I don't think I agree with that so much. It's not really jiving with me. Oh, the ending wasn't that great. Maybe there was time to do something. Maybe there wasn't time to do something. But usually it would be snip, snip, not reshoot. You know what I mean? That you would usually cut stuff out, not. Oh God, we got to recall those whole, blah blah blah. Pay them another 10 million each to come back and finish this, film. Oh wait, no, call Josh Wheaton. We got to get him to save. What's it called? Justice League.
Justice League.
It's like Justice League didn't need saving, right? Justice League should have. Instead of redoing the movie, he should have just done it himself, right? But all I'm saying is this: if there's a vision, and you believe in your vision, right? You should let it ride, because you're not gonna please everybody. What if you brought in the wrong group? You brought in a whole bunch of people who, for whatever reason, didn't have a good day that day, right? What if you test it with another? Again, keep testing, right? And then ask them, what was it? I get it. We do have the ability to redo these things. But here's the thing: you're gonna bloat this film to like god awful amounts where you can't make your money back, right? And arguably, the film that you end up with might not be the film that was originally intended. That's exactly what happened with Justice League, right? Now you could argue hindsight's 50-50, 2020, sorry, hindsight's 2020, and Snyder had the chance to correct the things that people didn't like about Whedon's cut.
About Whedon's
so
version.
he basically used that as a roadmap. You could argue that, right? But at the end of the day, Momoa and Cavill and all of them, this thing exists. We've seen the original cut and it's way better, right? So there was already a plan in place, right? This is what I'm trying to say. Stop pandering to an audience where, again, you just never know, and you don't know if this next cut is going to be the right cut. And now you're going to push it back another 6 months, right? And now the toys have to get sold, and maybe one of those characters cut out, and that toy becomes Wicked.com. You know what I mean?
Right.
maybe that's what happens. And freaking Mattel's got egg in their face, and Hasbro's got egg in their face, and everything. But that's what it is. Give me 1 second though, Steve. I'll be right back.
Yeah. No, I agree with Jay 100%. I understand that these things are made by committee. I understand that when you've got studio execs and shareholders that they have skin in the game as well too. But I'm wondering, like, they're not writers for a reason. They're not directors for a reason. And I think that's why when you get like independent film or smaller films, you get a truer version of what the story actually is. And you don't have, studio interference. My God, the list of films that are absolutely meddled with almost into a complete mess are long and legendary. And sometimes I think it's best when you just leave the director alone with the good script, let them make their films. Hell, shoot 2 endings if you want, but don't go back and reshoot scenes. Don't go back and change. Like, you should have known that from the beginning.
Let's be honest. Every movie that has been meddled with has never really been a marginal success. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to look at Star Wars. The last film to really understand just how many concessions they had to make because of the previous films, because of the attitudes.
The Ryan Johnson movie, yeah,
but not so much that, but moreover the attitudes of everyone you're trying to please.
But that's what I mean. Like, his movie was so polarizing, right?
It was
for whatever reason. But I will admit there were some scenes that looked absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, no,
visually unbelievable. But that movie made people so mad that they lost their mind in the last one.
No, it's a thing, right? Like, but not only that, it arguably a decent film like Solo suffered because of it too, because the people just said, "I'm not watching this garbage," right? But it wasn't garbage. But the thing is that, and it's unfortunate because Abrams had to come back and he had to stitch together some crazy movie after that, and it was a roller coaster. I didn't know where it began and where it ended. It was like bang 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 bang. It was like literally shot like a machine gun fire for like every single scene. It was so fast. Mm-hmm. They needed 2 more movies is what they needed, but they're just
I totally agree with you.
Right. But
totally
but coming right back to it, let a director do the directing, whether it ends up being what you expected or not. I mean, as you said, the second film was not what everyone expected, and it upset a lot of people. But it's a canon now. It's canonical, which sucks, right? But afterwards, you got you got to just let a director do his thing, because reshoot after reshoot, this after that, test audiences, whatever. You're not going to end up with a product. You're basically chasing the rabbit, man. You're chasing the freaking rabbit. You're never going to catch it, right? You got to go with what you originally intended, in my opinion. However the outcome is, you've already spent $3 million. You already spent $60 million on this thing, right? You're going to spend another $30 million just to get where you think it's going to be. You're losing money.
The worst part about it is you've got the VFX artists under the gun, even more so now.
Actually, that's even worse, because you know what? You're not paying them. You are bankrupting half of these VFX studios. Like, it's ridiculous, right? And what comes out of that? After all the really good ones go bankrupt, then you're left with She-Hulk. You know what I mean? Like you are left with whatever it is, that's left over, right? Because the good ones have now literally gone under, right? And what's left of the team has been dispersed to God knows where, right? So pay the people what they're owed. Don't do the freaking reshoots at half the cost, just to get it done, right? And just trust. Have a little bit of faith. Like, trust in the fact that audiences will understand what it is. You're not going to please everybody. I get it. Test audiences, like, hedging your bets, this and that, whatever. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna pitch a movie to anybody, right? Then you know what? As you're fond of saying, get the writing right the first time. Like, write a good freaking film, right? If you have gold in a script, you'll know it. You know what I mean? Like, everybody you pass it to, and a lot of the actors, they'll be happy to tell you this is shit, or this is the greatest thing I've ever acted on. You know what I mean? They will tell you, right? Yeah. It's crazy. It's like the difference between Ragnarok and whatever the name of the last one was.
Love and Thunder.
There it is. Love and Thunder.
Good God, that movie was a mess.
That was a mess, an absolute mess. Right?
It was such a mess that he didn't quite do it, but Hemsworth almost apologized.
You know what? I wanted to like it. You know what I mean? There was a lot of things in there I wanted to like. I like the idea of Jane Foster. I like that idea. Like even when it was written in the books, I kind of liked it. You know what I mean? I like where it was going. Who's truly worthy? Someone who's dying and is just clinging on to life, or someone who is trying to find themselves. Right? I kind of like that.
And it had an amazing villain. The God Killer is a friggin' amazing villain.
And look what they did to it. Right? Even Batman couldn't save that film. Batman could not save that film. Steve, we're living in a crazy world and Batman can't save that film. It's crazy. It's nuts.
I have nothing to say. You're 100% correct. You're 110% correct.
Or is it Moon Knight? Was he the Moon Knight? I don't know.
No, he was Batman.
He was Batman. Okay.
Yeah. Moon Knight was an X-Men.
Ah, that's right.
He was Apocalypse.
I was about to say maybe it was Apocalypse. I don't know.
Wrong franchise. So let's see some of these Brave New World toys.
Just having fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't have anything ready, but give me a second. I'll
no worries.
But before we get into that, what are your thoughts about this film? I mean, the test audiences don't seem to be too particularly happy, but just trailers can make anything look like it's $1 million. But I didn't mind what I saw in the trailers. So what is it that these audiences are seeing that could be so bad? Do you think?
I think part of what Marvel's problem is, what the MCU's problem is that they showed up and had like an MVP Hall of Fame career in the first 3 or 4 years, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
And basically are hanging on for dear life for the rest of it. Like, so they're kind of like living off of past glory. And what I mean by that is some good films have still come in the later phases, but the expectations of fans is through the roof. And then you start second guessing yourself because you gotta top Avengers. Oh no, now we gotta top Iron Man. Oh no, we gotta top Winter Soldier. Then we have to top No Way Home, right? Endgame. So you keep leveling up all the time to a point where you can't really level up anymore. And I think that's one of the things with this film. Now, for me, and this is my big beef, I think we might have spoken about this a couple of weeks ago when Carlos was on the show.
Sure.
How you gonna have Red Hulk without the Hulk, man? That's like having Joker fight Justice League as an example, and Batman's not in the movie. It makes no sense. Absolutely no sense whatsoever. Now, I know Ross and the Thunderbolts and all that kind of stuff. I get that. But for us Hulk fans out here, we're starving for a proper Hulk movie. And I know there might be some studio wrangling as to why they can't do it with Universal. But come on, man. That being said, I really like, and I mentioned this earlier, I really like Anthony Mackie. I really, there's a part of me that likes crusty, old and cantankerous Harrison Ford more than I liked young Harrison Ford. But for me, it's going to be a wait and see.
So Steve, these photos come to us from our friends over at toyark.com. Wonderful resource for toy news all year round. Give them a like and a follow and tell them that Comics Asylum and Mega J Retro sent you. So yeah, the Marvel latest pre-orders include several figures from this brand new movie. And first, of course, I mean, he's got to be here, right? Mm-hmm. Problem is, I don't think they had the likeness rights. I don't think they got this right. Because this is just in a lot of ways, if you really look at it, it literally is just a repaint of the
Hulk.
Of the first
Yeah.
Bruce Banner Hulk.
Yeah.
That's Bruce Banner Hulk. It's not
pretty much.
I don't know. And this thing we're going back to it though, Steve. We're going back to the idea that when they bought the rights to do these films, the license for the movie. Oftentimes when they do this, they don't necessarily have the assets to actually make a proper Hulk, right? Because again, like even some of the early footage that was in commercials, he didn't look right. He kind of looked almost like Bruce Banner, right? We're seeing now that he's sort of looking more like Harrison Ford, right?
Yeah, they're just using the old models.
Yeah, but early on, and obviously that's exactly what happened here. All they did was put a new coat of, literally, not even figuratively. They put a new coat of paint on.
You know what's crazy? That face looks like Jack Kirby.
Yes. You know what? Maybe
like when you do like when you look at a cartoon caricature or whatever of Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
Put a cigar in his mouth, and that's Jack Kirby, man.
I see where you're coming from. I totally see where you're coming from. Absolutely.
That does not look like Harrison Ford at all.
Well, it's not even Harrison Ford. This is the here. Let me just it's Mark Ruffalo. That's not, and even that one didn't technically look at more.
No, it didn't look like Mark Ruffalo either.
Yeah. What's it called? There. Where is it here? Like, I wonder which one it would be. See, there's so many. There have been so many releases, so it's kind of hard to narrow it down. But it really is hard to narrow it down, actually. But I'm telling you, it's basically like that's SH Figure Arts, but God damn it, hold on. Marvel Legends Avengers Hulk. I'm gonna say movie. Let's see what happens.
You think that'll narrow it down a bit?
Yeah, unfortunately, we got to try, because I mean this is definitely not. This is a very similar sculpt to the version that was released earlier. It's going to take a while to narrow it down, but this is not Ross. This is not Everett Ross. There's no way.
It's a Red Hulk.
Yeah, it's a Red Hulk. It is not the Red Hulk, because even in the thumbnail you provide, even in our own thumbnail, it's a completely different character. Like 100%. This is not the same dude. This is, this does not look like this. That is not the same Hulk, right?
No.
And that's kind of another reason why it's a lot of fans are kind of getting upset about this too. We're not getting the right action figures either, right? A lot of people are pretty much like, that's not what's in the movie. You know what I mean? And I'm wondering if on the box art as well, what that actually looks like, because the box art actually might not even have the right the right designs, right? See, it's that's not right there. That's not him. That's literally
that is the box art of the Ruffalo Hulk from Avengers.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The hair's slightly different, but that face is essentially from the original box art.
Yeah, which is ridiculous, right? There it is. There's the actual artwork there. That is not. I mean, it's great. It's a great piece.
Fantastic.
It's a great piece.
Yeah.
Don't know who. No, let's find out if they probably don't have any credits here. I
don't think they have the credits on the boxes.
Yep. It's too bad, because honestly, that is a great piece, right? But it's not. It's not Everett Ross. That is Bruce Banner. That is Bruce Banner with spray paint on. He's got a fake and bake time. He's got a fake and bake time. That's what he spent too long in the sun. I freaking got lobster burn. Right. That's what happened here. The Hulk got really mad.
Yeah. Well, it'd be interesting to see how they explain his origin, because MODOK is supposed to be
really
in the comics. In the comics, MODOK's supposed to be a part of it. So
okay, because
MODOK was a joke villain in the Ant-Man.
It was. That was a travesty. You want to talk about bad CGI? That was literally
Oof.
that's a Photoshop squash and stretch.
Oof,
You know what I mean? It was
that
so
did not
bad.
go.
It was
That
so
did not go well at all. So what else? What other ones? I saw the Falcon. Now that character was teased in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yes. Well, let's take a look at Captain America first, but I want to take a quick shot.
Oh,
at this.
why, Lord, Lordy.
I argue this is actually a better shot. This is a fan's rendition. This because it's sharper.
Yes,
in the
it
movie,
was very blurry and muddy.
In the movie, it looked blurry.
Yeah,
it looked blurry as f. I don't know what they were thinking when they did that. Like
that was standard definition MODOK versus 4K MODOK.
It was low definition. It was like 640p. You know what I mean? It was crazy. Yeah. Like I didn't understand what they were thinking. It was such a terrible decision. You know what I mean?
MODOK's supposed to be menacing, man.
Yeah. And you know what? Have you watched the MODOK television series? Yeah. It's clever. I'm not going to say it's not. It's clever.
Patton Oswalt is part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's clever, but it's not MODOK. You know what I mean?
No.
Like it's crazy, right? Let's take a look at Sam. Honestly, I actually like this costume a lot better than the first one.
Yeah, the first one didn't fit well. The first one fit. The first one was a complete match for the Stuart Immonen design. That when Sam debuted as Captain America in the I'm not even sure which volume it was, but when he took over the mantle, it was a pretty much 1-for-1. But the head cowl never fit well around his jaw, and this one I think works a lot better.
Yeah, I liken this very much to the way when we first saw Captain America in the Avengers, and then we saw the Winter Soldier Captain America, which is like a stealth suit. Yes. I think that's what they've kind of done here. They've kind of crushed the colors, made it a little bit more darker. You know what I mean? Give him a little bit more of a menacing look, and I appreciate that. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Yeah, the figure itself again is pretty standard flare. This is not the first. There's very little reuse here, but the wings are still more or less what they were when they designed them for the first version. But they're trying different things. I like the way they fold over and can become like pieces of armor. Yeah, that's really neat. I really like that.
Is that Red Wing in his hand?
I believe it is. I believe that is Red Wing in his hand. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me see if there are any other shots. Yeah, no. As far as photography goes, very photogenic. I love this. This particular shot is
great.
Yeah, it's like a phalanx. It's like a one-man phalanx. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So great. Great pack out too. Especially even the way they have the golden triangle here on the pack out is actually really, really cool. There he is. There's Red One. Yeah. Pretty standard flare, not bad. Again, great illustrations.
Box art is amazing.
Yeah, but again, we're at that point now where we're way ahead of the game now, right? Like the toys are coming for the movie, and of course here's a figure that they couldn't help but release, right? And the worst part about this, arguably the worst part about this. They had to release him in such a way that you couldn't see his face. Even the face sculpt, is actually covered by a helmet. So we don't even know who. Like, I know we pretty much know who the actor is now, but it's like, why even bother with a character like this? You know what I mean? Like, at least when you're putting out the toys, and I understand. I totally get it. You need to sell toys. I get that. And I totally understand where they're coming from as a toy company. I totally understand that. But again, like, I think this is probably the best shot we can get. Like, who is that guy? Like,
yeah, well, you know who the character is because he was in Winter Soldier, not Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah. So it's easy it's really easy to read. But again, why cover his face? If you're gonna release the freaking toy, like give us the proper head sculpt, because that's exactly what fans are going to complain about now. They're going to be like, well, why didn't you give us the head sculpt? It's like, well, movie rights and this and that. It's like, come on, seriously, that's a bit of a weak excuse right now. Like, half the reason why people buy toys that are from the movie is because they want to be able to see their favorite actors on screen, right?
Yeah,
that's the whole reason for collecting these action figures, and actually one of the whole reasons why they are what's it called? Investing in facial real technology, right? People want to be able to collect these guys.
You're right though, because it's interesting that they didn't have Torres without the helmet on, right?
Yeah,
you already had you had the actor there from how long ago was Falcon and Winter Soldier?
It's been about 2 years now.
3-4 years?
3 years? Is it 3-4 years already?
I thought it was during COVID. I thought it came out around
was it COVID? No, yeah, I think it was at the end of COVID, right?
Maybe.
Because
that's still 3 years though.
How did it go? Was it Secret Invasion and then Falcon, or was it Falcon and the Winter Soldier and then Secret Invasion?
The latter.
So Falcon came first.
Yeah,
okay.
I think Falcon was one of the first Disney Plus shows. It was it was that and WandaVision, I think, that kicked it off.
Got you. Okay, yeah. All right.
So that actor's been in the fold for 3-4 years. They for sure could have.
Yep. Again, it's one of these. It's the politics of it all, right? It's the politics of when do you release this? How long can you take? Right? Is the movie going to go release on time? And I think that's really the problem. The movie is no longer slated to release on time, or has reshoots, or is having a problem with this person or that person. I revert back to my original statement. Freaking just release a movie the way it was intended. Forget about, just take your lumps. You know what I mean? You invested in a movie which you believe, and again you believed in the idea that this film was going to bank, right?
Yeah.
That's what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to bank, right? And the real problem is Hollywood's become very corporate. Not that it ever was not, but it's become so corporate now that they're almost just like baseball, which sucks. Just like I think baseball is the most egregious, but they're playing the numbers. They're letting algorithms dictate what the manager's jobs. You know what I mean? It's no longer a chess game anymore. It's a game of what is the computer telling us to do? Steve, talk to the computer, Steve. You're the manager, but I want you to talk to the computer first.
Yeah, no one's thinking anymore.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like it takes away something from the game. It takes away something from the reality of the situation, right? Sometimes you want something organic. You don't want to be playing numbers, right? Oh, Shohei's not going to hit this home run for sure because this guy's actually a lefty and he's done. The statistics say so. All of a sudden, Shohei Ohtani hits a fucking home run.
It's okay to go with your gut. You know what I mean?
Sometimes,
right? Read the room. Just read the room.
Yeah, absolutely. Scouting used to be done with guys in the field and freaking watching a guy pitch for 3 days. You know what I mean? Now they're literally like, okay, what is it like by statistics? And I love the fact that baseball's all about statistics. I love that. But at the end of the day, it's like when does it become a game again? When does it become something that you can enjoy watching? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the arguably this World Series was just like it was complete in a way I think it was actually a little bit scripted, because how the hell is it Ohtani actually gets onto a brand new team, becomes the freaking best player in baseball, which there's a lot of skill there. There's a lot of skill there. But
I'll tell you, those payrolls were out of control.
They're ridiculous. They're absolutely crazy.
The two best payrolls in terms of cash, best World Series money can buy
in the NBL. Two largest.
If the Dodgers didn't win, it would have been egregious. Like their general manager would have had to reassess his purpose, because if you basically have 1 to 9 as all-stars, and then your pitching staff is all-stars as well too. And then the Yankees always spend, and the Yankees are always in it. Other than the Astros, who they seem to have trouble against, the Yankees are always in the mix because they spend a lot. And as a Jays fan, I couldn't watch it. I was happy for Teoscar and some of the other players like Vigio that were on there and got a chip.
Oh, I enjoyed it profusely as a Jays fan because
it was hard, man.
No, the Yankees were getting their ass whooped, man.
Well, there is that too, right? But I was kind of like, Shohei Ohtani, man.
Yeah,
we thought we had him. We thought we had him for a minute.
He's a force of nature. He proved.
He might be the best baseball player we've ever seen.
Yeah, like, is he worth that money? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I love what he's done. In order to keep their salary cap, he's actually deferred most of his salary until the end of his year and until the end of his career, which is kind of crazy. Like, but you know what? No matter what, a contract's a contract. They cannot they're who is it right now? That I think a team is still
Bobby Bonilla.
Yes, Bobby Bonilla. Bobby Bonilla. They're still paying him.
I think he's been retired like 15, 20 years or something like that.
It doesn't matter. Them paychecks are still rolling in. They're still rolling in. His kid,
his agent is
perpetuity because his grandkids could have kept collecting those checks. You know what I mean?
Pretty much. That's
you're just waiting for him to, they're waiting for him to croak. They're like, God, when are we going to be able to stop this contract? It's so bad.
Yeah, when you look at it that way, it's pretty crazy.
It is nuts. Like baseball contracts are just stupid, like absolutely stupid. But I do love it.
It's crazy money.
What? Let's bring this up really quick because I think you'll get a kick out of this. It is Joker. It is Joker.
I have to say, this was my first foray into Toy Arc. That's where I got the Godzilla stuff from.
Yeah,
and that's why I was saying there's some really cool toys dropping.
Well, there's some fun toys. 100%, and you should keep going in there and just getting lost in the rabbit in the rabbit.
Oh, absolutely.
But what do you think about this set, Steve? What do you think about this? This is a whole playset, by the way, a complete playset.
Yes,
right. It comes with 2 figures.
I haven't seen the Joker, so this is just
neither have I. Neither have I. People are like, "See, you should watch the Joker." I'm like, I don't know. It seems like a run of the mill movie to me, right? But everyone swears up and down. I think it has the Star Trek 4 effect. You know what I mean? Where no, I'm serious. I think it's an everyday man's movie, right? It's not really a comic book movie, but but yeah. So tell me what you think. What are your thoughts about this set? What are your thoughts about because it comes with? Let me go through what it comes with. It comes with the Joker. It comes with Murray. Actually, it's right here. So it comes with the Joker. It comes with Murray. It comes with the back wall. It comes with the desk, 2 chairs, a plant, the floor base, which is cardboard, and it comes with a whole bunch of accessories. It comes with in a wonderful, beautiful, gigantic box.
The box is great.
The box is beautiful, just absolutely gorgeous. But it also comes with a couple of things which you would not necessarily accept. But check this out. So it comes with the Joker. Arguably Joaquin Phoenix, maybe not. Maybe some random dude. It comes with Robert De Niro, maybe not.
I would say it's got his mouth and his eyes, but the face, I'm not sure. As a whole,
it's your standard McFarlane, kind of half-assing. No, not really, but their best attempt at a like this. It comes with a microphone. It comes with these crazy additions. It comes with a notebook, right? For Arthur Fleck.
Are there notes in it?
And I think it's just empty. I think it's empty.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just an empty notebook. It comes with actually, I don't know, and I'll explain that to you later. It comes with a flyer for Pogo's Comedy Club night, open mic night. It comes with a "Don't Forget to Smile" card, and it comes with the cards.
So and these are life-size props.
These are all life-size props, right? So, what do you know? I am mistaken. It does have it has the actual photocopies from the movie. Yeah. So there you go. Right? It's got maybe 2 pages in there or something. Right?
Yeah, you can't have too much more than that. That's too expensive.
Pretty much. Yeah. So what would you pay for this, Steve? what would you pay for this?
This is harsh. I probably wouldn't pay. I'd get it as a gift, but I wouldn't buy it myself. It doesn't appeal to me.
Sure.
And I wouldn't even know what.
Well,
I wouldn't even know where to start.
Okay,
I don't know.
Let me.
$60?
Well, hold on. Okay, $60. Okay, fine. But that's actually a good number. I would imagine myself paying maybe $60-$70, right? Because let's add up what it would normally cost. So each figure US is probably about $18, $20. Okay. Maybe $22. The Batman 66 playsets that they released about four years ago or so are comparable to this set. Okay, and those are about $30 to $40. I think it was I think it was $40 a set. So you're in and around there, right? So you get two characters. Let's say $40 there. Another two, the set maybe another $50. No, sorry, maybe another $30. Right, all the extra accessories. Okay, maybe we're up to like $75-$80. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Guess how much this thing retails for? And it's
if it's 3 digits, if it's over $100, then come on.
Okay, it was originally only a McFarlane exclusive.
Okay,
it was $240, $250.
Excuse me. Is this American dollars?
This is American dollars.
This isn't like some other currency from the Caribbean or something.
No, right there. You see it?
What are you telling me?
$249.99.
What are you telling me? That would have been over $300 Canadian.
I'm telling you that many of us in the toy community were questioning whether or not Uncle Toddy had hit his head or something. We were wondering what the hell.
That's got to be there's a I don't know. That's a typo.
It wasn't. It did go on sale for $249.99. As a matter of fact, if we shortly thereafter, the sale went up. I'm guessing they didn't sell enough of them because it's shortly thereafter went to Big Bad Toy Store, who also has it up for $249.99. And it even prompted a response by McFarlane Toys. Let's see if we can find it.
Well. Sarah's Lupin does not like how they look. He says they look like she.
I'm not surprised. Let's see. There we are. McFarlane Toys official. Let's see if we can find the quote here. Because
someone in the comments went bat crazy.
Where?
It's not about money.
Yeah. So here's the actual quote. The actual release on McFarlaneToys.com. So this was crazy, and if you go through the comments, people are let's just say people literally lost their minds. Let's see here. Originally said the Joker movie limited edition deluxe collector set live with Murray Franklin is available for pre-order right now at select retailers. Link in bio, featuring an extra large limited edition collector's box with a foil Joker image on the front and 21 items inside the box. 21 is questionable. Joker 7-inch figure, Murray Live 7-inch figure, 3 swappable Joker faces, 4 alternate heads, notebook, handgun, coffee mug, blah 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 blah. Also includes the full-size tropical items, the Joker notebook, don't forget to smile, blah 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 blah, and paper for $249.99 USD. And then I believe if we have to do a little bit of searching, we have to do a little bit of digging, but I believe that it's actually in the comment section where they actually made a statement, not really apologizing, but as you can see, people are not happy. I'll pick it up a Ross for $20. Let's take a look.
Wow.
Might as well add the gold label and make it $350.
Oh man.
YouTubers assemble. Let's see. I cannot wait to find the Joker at $20 and Murray for $5 at Goodwill. Yeah, they were not kind. They were not kind. They were not kind on this. Right there. I think I'll order a Sentinel instead. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like the Sentinel's cheaper. There's a typo here. It says 250 where it should be 75. Like
Yes.
people
That's
were
exactly what I was thinking.
People were not shy about voicing their opinions.
375 Canadian.
Yes,
La
right
D.
375 Canadian. Now I think it was on Twitter. Now that I think about it, so Twitter, or X, McFarlane Toys. I believe the response was on one of these, and it was a pretty candid response. Like they how come it's not? What is wrong with you? All right, so let's see if we can find the response here. Vote now. Something. Select your holiday. Where was it? Good old Toddy Mac.
Mm-hmm.
Winning the, what is that, an award or something? I don't know what that is.
Almost looks like a corner box.
Oh man, I know it's here somewhere because somebody actually forwarded it to me. I wish I.
There it is. There it is. Keep going. There it is. No, down. There you go.
Oh, there it is. You're right. There it is. There it is. You're right. There it is. All right, here we go.
Oh wow! They
yeah,
basically had a disclaimer.
Yeah. Check this out. So we've heard your feedback about the prices. We've heard your feedback about the pricing of the Joker movie set and wanted to take a moment to address your concerns. Due to the mature nature. Due to the mature nature of the Joker movie, we faced unique restrictions on pricing options. What
does that have to do with anything?
What are they talking about?
Like,
my
honestly,
God. That is holy crap.
So can I ask you a question?
Wait. Let's just finish.
Wait.
Okay, go.
Jason Voorhees. Every Jason Voorhees doll should be $500 then. What are you telling me? Come on, man.
Listen to this again. This is crazy. I can't believe this somebody wrote this. Somebody wrote this. And they're going to be in politics next week. Due to the mature nature of the Joker movie, we faced unique restrictions on pricing options. Which made this approach the only way we could release the product.
What?
Despite these limitations, we remained committed to delivering a very limited offering that truly feels worth it. What are you talking about? They don't even look like the characters. That's why we packed as much value into the box as possible, with exclusive details and features we'll hope you enjoy. Your feedback means everything to us, and we'll always strive to provide the best value while honoring the characters and stories you love. Thank you for your passionate input. It's what's inspiring us to keep improving. And that was not Toddy Mac, by the way.
Can I ask a question? I have a request. Can I see what the responses are to that? What are the responses to that?
Oh, you want to see the response? You want to see the response?
Yeah. Like there's got to be some comments and responses to that.
Oh, 100%. You can't put Arthur Fleck in a box on himself. This company has taken a massive nosedive in the way they run their business. Unacceptable. Praying that they lose the DC license.
I like that one. The gaslighting is
the
God
gaslighting
tier.
Is
It's God tier, man.
Yeah, no, been collecting stuff from you all these years. This doesn't justify the price. Articulation is way off. Value-wise, there isn't anything to be bragging about taking it home. $250 up. Might as well kick that towards a VR set, TV, or console. Still love you, though. Lee Sanders, you're a gem. Fear Lantern, that second movie, they'll be on sale for cheap eventually. So it's because it's mature 18 plus that needs to be extremely expensive because it's 18 plus.
If we make it really expensive, only the adults could buy it. Okay,
that's right. Your company is taking quite the photos of late. Pricing was amazing for years. As for the quality of the product, there's been a massive increase in production with multiple figures a week being released along with, albeit small price increases of $2 to $3. Something like this could have been more of a thank you to your community instead of a get wrecked with the price you were asked for. You risked a lot with a bit of that greed. Wow. Mortar 18 did not hold any punches. I'm sorry. I'm dumb. Can somebody translate this to me as if I'm 5 years old?
I'm kind of speechless because like those are some weak attempts at
it is
at justification.
What
are you saying?
That was dialed in. That was dialed into the nth degree. They could have easily said we've owned, like, you know what? Hey, you know what? Why not like, here's the thing: you're catering, you're catering to comic book fans. Do the comic book model. Say, oh, did we not mention there's only 1,000 of these things? Is it like, come on, like,
someone did not get the internal memo.
There's only 1,000 of these things. If you tell me there are only 1,000 of these things, that immediately causes a fear of missing out. Somebody is not into comic book playbooks. It's absolutely crazy. And now everybody, oh man, timescales is going off, man. Timescales
Your feedback means nothing to us. No, your money means everything to us. Would be the truth. Sounds like total bullshit to me. Wow, what a bunch of crap. Timescales was on fire.
Oh, no, Timescales is on fire, man.
This should go viral as how not to respond to complaints. Absolutely. Thompson 51. I need just the Joker. De Niro looks like Nix.
That's true.
That's hilarious. Masterversal Toy Hunter. Oh my, indeed. Yes. What
are you talking about, Willis? What are you talking about, Willis?
There is some serious different strokes there for sure. I sat with De Niro on a short flight from Vegas to San Francisco once. That was awkward, but you are correct. Ha ha ha. What's this one? Someone didn't get the email. For sure. Wow.
We can go on with those comments for ages, but we will be here for way too long. But there's a key cut example of a company which actually is losing faith with losing good faith with its fans. And it seems to be a common denominator these days. It happened with the Engine of Vengeance with the HasLab for Hasbro. Mm-hmm. People were absolutely floored by a $400 price tag for a vehicle which didn't even celebrate, which arguably was not in the spirit of celebrating the 80th anniversary of Ghost Rider. Everyone was like, "This is not Ghost Driver. We're not looking for Ghost Driver. We're looking for Ghost Rider." Right? If you're going to celebrate 80 years of Ghost Rider, right? Don't start with the latest incarnation. I mean, like, Robbie Reyes is fun. Don't get me wrong.
Give me Johnny Blaze on a bike.
Yes.
Give me Johnny Blaze on a bike.
All I was saying, you know what I was saying? Give 4 bikes. Sorry, give 3 bikes and a horse.
Yeah,
and you're golden. You're free. You got a match made in heaven. People will love you for it. Instead, you give a freaking vehicle and a dude who's technically really like. It's not like if you like you read Robbie Reyes. I mean, it's like there's a disconnect with Ghost Rider there somewhere.
And don't get me wrong, like even when he was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that character on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., he was cool. Like, he was cool. But then when they kind of teased that Johnny Blaze, they didn't actually show Johnny Blaze, but they kind of teased Johnny Blaze underneath one of the cars. You could see the bike pull up or whatever.
Yep.
That's when you started to get hype.
Yep.
Because that's the character you want to see.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, Timescales is just wrapping everything up in a little bow here. We will see you for sure on Spill the Geek Tea, brother. And yes, please educate me on the Doctor Who's. I need to learn more. And take care, brother. We will see. We will see you out there, man.
For sure.
Steve, it's a brave new world. It is a brave new world, and I guess we're going to find out how this all plays out one way or the other. Are we going to have to wait another 6 months for the movie to come out, or
no?
A decent film.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to come out. I think they have no choice, kind of, because what are they going to do? Have it kind of butt up against FF or whatever? So it'll come out, and then they'll just weather the storm. Right?
It doesn't mean that it's going to be a terrible movie. Not all test audiences are alike. So we'll see what happens.
Not only that, I'm going to go back to, oh gosh, which one was it? Infinity War?
Yeah.
And they had Hulk running in Wakanda. And I was like, yeah, man. And there was no Hulk running in Wakanda. So there were some VFX artists who had to just do misdirection, right?
Yeah.
Who knows what we're seeing, if what we're seeing in these commercials or trailers are even going to end up in the final cut. We don't know.
We don't know.
You know.
77 films. Good to see you, brother. All the way from Costa Rica. Great to see you, man.
Yeah, welcome. Absolutely.
Oh, Hal Jordan's in the house.
They don't have to put the movie out. Look at Batgirl.
Ooh. That's a rough one, brother. Opening up old wounds, I see. Old girlfriend. Man.
There's a part of me that I wouldn't mind at least seeing.
I want to see it. Like again,
at least seeing what it was like. I watched Flash, so I should be able to see Batgirl.
Look. I've said it a million times. Release the damn thing. I mean, what's like? You know what? Films live. Actually, great example. If anybody's old enough to remember, which I hope you are, The Spy Who Shagged Me. Austin Powers.
Austin Powers
died. Austin Powers died in the theaters. It was a complete flop, an absolute disaster. And guess what? It has second life on DVDs, and it had 3 movies after that. Right? Think about that. Sometimes there is an audience that you find afterwards, right? Anyway, marketing has a lot to do with this. The marketing failed.
Totally.
Yeah, the marketing failed. Austin Powers, but then when people actually saw it as a rental afterwards, everyone started sharing it because there was such a funny film, right?
Yeah. You also have to factor in like what's the release window, like what are you going up against? You know, sometimes that goes a long way. I think there was a James Bond movie, one of Pierce Brosnan's, that opened against Titanic.
Yeah, it happens, and bad timing too. Absolutely, bad timing.
Right.
Anyway, there's still hope. You know, this might actually end up being a sleeper hit. You know what I mean? Well, obviously it's not a sleeper, but it might end up surprising people, right? Maybe it's misdirection. Yeah. Maybe you're right. Maybe they're just putting out fake news to get people. I don't
know. Well, think about it though. You're talking about it, right?
Right.
Like we're talking about it. So, and maybe that's what you need, and especially because I think one of the struggles they have moving forward is they don't have any A-list characters in a lot of these movies. Like Mackey's great, Falcon's great, but he's not Cap. He's not Iron Man.
You know what? There's a part of the marketing. I think they really should have been more careful with. They literally said in the freaking film, in the freaking first trailer, "You're not Steve Rogers." And you know what? Don't do that. That is not a good thing. You're not supposed to tell somebody the one thing no one wants to hear. No one wants to hear that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Totally. This is an interesting point from Hal Jordan. I think people would be more excited about Brave New World if Bucky had taken up the mantle.
Oh, crap.
Sam needed more time to be the sidekick. I agree with that, and I wouldn't even say that Sam's a sidekick. Sam is his own character. Bucky also takes up Cap before Falcon does in the books.
That's right. It's true.
Right? So to me, especially because like Bucky's badass, man.
He is.
Bucky is so badass.
He is.
The way that the actor's name slips my mind at this moment. He played Trump. But he embodies a certain kind of coolness, which, and especially take it back to the comics again, like when Nightwing takes over being Batman. Sebastian Stan. Thank you. Sebastian Stan. So the way that he plays Bucky is so cool, right? And the way that like you could have a different kind of Cap. And I know you've got U.S. Agent, right?
Yeah, that was gonna
right. But Bucky's Cap, especially when you factor in like the Ed Brubaker books, would have been an interesting take.
Yeah.
Right.
And now he's on the other film.
And now he's in the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, he's in the Thunderbolts.
Right. Essentially,
right beside U.S. Agent.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah. So it's just some interesting decisions, right?
Yeah.
Interesting character and roster decisions.
Hal Jordan's right. Sam wasn't around long enough to prove himself. Yeah, no, you're echoing exactly what Steve said, Hal, and you guys are both right.
Well, let me
But then
get to
again, it's the MCU. They didn't bring up the last comment from Hal.
But then again, it's the MCU. They didn't even give the Avengers time to become an actual team before they broke them up. And yeah, that's true. Because when you think about it, they're only together for one movie, essentially.
It's true. It's true. Well, yeah. Well, the whole team anyway, because technically, well, I guess Ultron they were sort of together, right?
They were, and then some of them didn't even make it through. Like
Yeah.
some of their newest additions didn't even make it to the end of the movie.
Yeah, it was just really weird, right? I'm waiting for West Coast. I'd like to see West Coast happen. That I think
It's possible. Well, we'll see what they do. Let's see what they do with Wonder Man. We'll see what they do with Wonder Man, right? Because if White Vision, I'm sure they're doing the series on that at some point, and then you see how the Wonder Man, I think it's a series, goes, and then we're still trying to figure out what's going on with Armor Wars. Like, have they officially scrapped that?
I'm not sure. I mean, like, Stark is dead right now, right? Unless they're going to pull him from a different universe, which could happen, I guess. But you never know. Or maybe Pepper's going to take up the mantle, or Ironheart. Maybe she ends up doing the whole thing. I don't know. Depends, right? Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
And apparently, WandaVision season 2 is going to do a thing. I heard rumors about that too. Like, what the
last I saw is that Elizabeth Olsen was like, "I'll come back if they have something for me," and it's
because.
But I don't think they figured out what they want to do with that character yet. I think they totally
bad. One of the most powerful characters in the MCU. They did her.
They messed up. They messed her up in Multiverse of Madness.
And you know what? It didn't make any sense. The end of WandaVision was actually a cool ending. I liked the way it ended. Right? She goes off and tries to find herself in the middle of the fight. It was literally you know what? They literally stole the ending of the Hulk, the second Hulk movie. They literally stole it. It's the same fucking cabin. She literally went to the same cabin that Bruce went to. Like she found the exact same cabin in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And I thought it would have been great. She would have, found Vision. They would have had little android babies. It would have been great.
She's already got those 2 kids that she,
in manifested the ether somewhere. Freaking. She's trying to steal them from other galaxies to make.
And I will say, like, I know it took a lot of heat, but I liked Agatha all along. Like,
I haven't seen it.
It was good. It was enjoyable. You got to see Wiccan, and what's her name? The actress that portrays Agatha. She's fantastic.
She's good. Oh yeah, no,
she's fantastic. I could watch her in anything. Like all the stuff she's done has been amazing. So she's quite enjoyable.
I watched those. I really liked her insurance commercials. I thought that was great.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Watch the cowgirl.
There's Catherine Hahn. Absolutely. Catherine Hahn is amazing.
Yeah.
And Marvel, again, the thing that they do better than anybody else is they cast. Their casting is fantastic.
Top notch. Absolutely.
All they need to do is give us some more of those A-list characters somehow. And I'm sure it'll all get rectified once you have Secret Wars, because that's going to be all about
be great.
Different universes and stuff. But we'll see.
They better pick a good Beyonder. That's all I got to say. He better be right on point. It's got to be. It's got to be.
Hal Jordan's on fire as well too. They should have called it Wiccan all along. It was pretty much his story. Can't argue with that. It was good. It was well done.
Yeah,
it was really well done. Well,
all
Jay,
right, Steve, I think
we had a good one today.
We're going to find out how brave this new world is, because we're walking right into it. And I think that I think you know what, I'm going to watch it. You know what I mean? It again, like I said, let the cooks cook, man. Let the cooks cook. Let's see what happens. So sometimes you're gonna get a stinker. Sometimes you're gonna get something which surprises you, right? And the real problem is the companies just don't want to lose money. And unfortunately, if you don't want to lose money,
can't afford to.
Yeah, don't throw so much money into a movie which doesn't have the kind of characters people really want to see. I'm sorry, right?
Yeah.
Or at least put the other Hulk in there. Like, what the hell? Like pay Paramount the money that they want. Like, come on, see, it's just Universal, whatever. Pay Universal the fucking money that they want. Like, yeah, just give them the freaking name rights. Holy crap! Like, just let them have it.
You know, I think you hit the nail on the head there. In that the types of movies that are being made now that are blockbusters are impossible to make for less than 200 million. Sorry,
That's crazy.
Right?
It's crazy.
And so the stakes then
perceptually,
right? And so the stakes then for the studios are astronomical. Like you can't do a $50 to $100 million movie because of just the effects that are involved in it. They're,
sometimes you don't need. Sometimes it's not about effects.
No, it's not. But everything they're doing, right? And because they can't do a movie with one character in it, right? They have to have multiple villains. They have to have multiple heroes. Everything is so convoluted that it balloons the budget. But just make a simple story, and kind of maybe even focus on some of the street characters. Like, does Daredevil have to be a series? Maybe that works as a movie, and that would be a lot cheaper.
I think what. I think that they should just go back to television. I think television has its own niche, and I think that television can evolve into movies if you really want to get that blockbuster feel, right? And I think that Punisher was a missed opportunity. I think that they dropped the ball on Punisher because when he first showed up in the show, people lost their minds. People lost their minds.
So
it
good.
could have been something great, and then they made a series out of it.
Barenthal is amazing too.
I know. Unfortunately, they did not really know what to do with the character. they thought they knew what to do with the character. They did not. They had no idea. Right? He's such a tragic character. You could write him so many different ways. He could be haunted by his you could have him just being haunted by his family all the time. It's crazy, right? Yeah. But instead, whatever.
It is what it is.
It is.
Anyhow, my friend,
it's a brave new world, Steve. It's a brave new world.
Yes. So let's face it. Let's face it head on. Absolutely. Well, Jay, it was good to see you.
Absolutely. Welcome back. Welcome back, Steve.
Thank you. It's good to be back. Missed everyone, and it was great chopping it up as Han Solo to start, and then with my partner in crime. It was good to see you. Looking forward to our next show. Anything to say before we head out?
You know what? Just seriously, welcome back, Steve. It's we missed you. Always great. Last week was empty without you, but great to have you back.
Sounds like a song.
Absolutely. We're writing our own stories here, Steve, and that's great.
For
sure. Guys, be on the lookout for Atrium. It's coming hot and heavy. I think Steve's got everything coming in the works. I think you can still late pledge right now. Is that right, Steve?
Pledges are done. But pretty soon, hopefully by the end of this week, our store will be up, so you'll be able to purchase it from us.
There we go. That's the right way to do it. So, guys, definitely check out Atrium on their. Well, check out the Kickstarter anyway. I mean, all the information is there. And then when the web store is up, you guys can actually pre-order or actually order straight copies of Atrium as they come out. Good journey, my friend. We shall see you, Eldor. Always good to see you. Erwin. Good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you, brother. Hal Jordan, good to see you too, brother.
Thanks to everyone who put in comments, those who are watching. We really appreciate it. You guys and gals make the show. And, we look forward to chopping it up with you every week. It's been a lot of fun and want to continue doing so. All right. So you got something to say, Jay, or are you just waiting?
No, I thought you were going to sign off, but
no. I was in the middle of talking. But everyone, thanks for everything, and we look forward to next week. Remember, keep it indie.
Absolutely.